Everywhere. Either way, it's going to be big problems. I think it's just a bit silly starting the whole thing.
The voting has definitely split up a lot of families. You know, like the argument's got that strong that people are like disowning their family members. And I think if it actually goes no, then that it could split up a lot of families and
arguments and no, it's getting actually that big. Like even
Either
friends
way.
and things, it's big arguments. It's not just. It's because well, it's so patriotic. We want what's best for our country, and then friends. It's just because we're both no. If you were yes and I were no, this would be a different story.
Totally different.
Wouldn't even be doing this.
We'd be going,
I'd be like, get off. No.
Well, there's a great myth that somehow Scotland and Scottish people and Scottish culture are somehow repressed or held back at the moment. I mean, that's just not true. I mean, we're speaking today in Edinburgh at the start of the Edinburgh Festival, where one of the greatest expressions of culture anywhere that you'll find in the world. Scottish culture is not in any way repressed. No. So I don't think that a vote to leave the UK is suddenly going to set free years and centuries of cultural repression. I just don't think that's the case. I think Scotland, within the United Kingdom, as I say, we have our own Scottish Parliament, we have our own Scottish identity, we have our own Scottish culture. I don't think any of that is in any way threatened or undermined being part of the United Kingdom. So I just don't buy this argument that somehow we'll be set free by a vote for independence on the 18th of September.
Britain's a developing concept, a political construct, and the way that political construct's developed in the post-war era has changed. It's changed quite significantly between 1945 and 1976. So it's quite social democratic. It set up a health service for everybody and a welfare state for everybody. It was quite progressive. But from 1976, and you can put a date on it, it was when the IMF came in to rescue the Labour government and they made them impose austerity measures in 76. Since then, Britain as a political construct has been slowly but surely captured by the banking elites, corporations and their interests and the landlords, and it's become very much a political state for the wealthy rather than what it started out as in 1945 in the post-war era. So I see unionism is trying to defend that political structure, whereas independence is trying to create a different type of framework for society and politics.
I might be more inclined to vote yes if the proposition was more radical, because what has been voted for is a kind of semi-independence. It's not a real independence. We are still going to be part of a kingdom, maybe not a united kingdom, a sort of disunited kingdom, if you like. We're still going to share some of the things that I should say I'm a Republican. I would quite like to do away with the monarchy, so I'm not very happy about that. So as I say, if the yes proposition was more radical, I might be more inclined to vote yes.
Is that the current situation in Scotland finds a partner, the female partner, ready to make the big leap. She has packed her bags, there is a case next to the door, and she's ready to leave. She's had enough, she's decided the situation isn't for her, that it's damaging, that she can do better on her own, but she hasn't quite left the house yet. And the point that Janice is making there is that once the bag has been packed, and once it's out there, once the partner has said, I want to leave you, or I'm seriously considering leaving you, in many ways that's not an easy situation to recover. The unity of the family is in a pretty fragile position. Even if the person eventually decides not to leave and unpacks the bag and things go back to normal, they don't really go back to normal. Because once you've advertised that you are so dissatisfied with your current arrangements, you're actively considering your alternatives, it's hard to maintain the fiction of family unity and to play happy families.
To my mind, no political system is going to manage to take on the power of the plutocrats and the oligarchs, whether it's in Holyrood or in Westminster. So the idea that we're setting up, you know, some kind of independent ideal as being something that's going to solve all the world's ills, forget about it.
I think it's extraordinarily sad that in 2014 we still spend our time looking for somebody to blame. Over the course of the past 2 years of the referendum campaign, you know, the Nationalists have been saying that that their campaign's all about hope and positivity, but yet all that comes out of their mouths is how Westminster is doing this, or you know, Tories are doing this, and they're always looking for somebody to blame. Now, the Nationalists have been in power here in Scotland for 7 years. There's an extraordinary array of powers at their fingertips through the devolution settlement on health and education and law and order and transport. And if they chose to use them as opposed to, you know, constantly saying that they've not got enough, then I think they could make a difference. Now, so I hope that once this debate is concluded, that we can get back to having a debate in Scotland about the type of policies we want to try and improve lives, as opposed to just constantly thinking about the Constitution.